Imagine a rock legend, known for his quiet demeanor, stepping into a world of chaos that would test his patience and passion. In the 1980s, a former Beatle, celebrated for his soulful guitar riffs, decided to trade concert stages for movie sets. He poured his heart into a new venture, producing films that captured the spirit of a generation. But one project, starring a global superstar, turned his dream into a nightmare. The tension was palpable, egos collided, and by the end, he vowed never to work with her again. This is the story of a music icon's clash with a pop diva, tale of ambition, betrayal, and redemption. He was the mystic of the Beatles, the one who wove spirituality into their pop anthems. His guitar spoke louder than his words, reshaping rock with Eastern melodies and introspective lyrics. A man of paradoxes, he chased inner peace while living the wild life of a rock star. Born in Liverpool in 1943, his childhood was steeped in music. His mother filled their home with the hypnotic sounds of Indian radio, hoping to soothe her unborn son. But his life would be anything but calm. As a teenager, a chance encounter with Elvis Presley's voice changed everything. That raw, electric energy of Heartbreak Hotel gripped him, and he knew he'd found his calling. His mother scraped together enough money to buy him a guitar, a small act that sparked a revolution. By 14, he was already a prodigy, jamming with older boys in a scrappy band called the Quarrymen. His audition wasn't in a studio. It was on the top deck of a rattling Liverpool bus. With a single, blazing solo, he silenced doubts and earned his spot. That moment marked the start of a journey that would make him a legend. But even legends start small. In the late 1950s, he and his bandmates, still rough around the edges, headed to Hamburg, Germany, a gritty city hungry for rock and roll. Hamburg was no fairy tale. The band, dressed in leather, played marathon gigs in seedy clubs, surrounded by crime and chaos. They were young, broke, and reckless, living in grim quarters with concrete walls and bare bulbs. At 17, he was the youngest, constantly teased by his bandmates for his inexperience, but Hamburg was their proving ground. They found a drummer, sharpened their sound, and caught the eye of a manager who saw their potential. Yet, trouble followed. A vengeful club owner reported him for being underage, and just as the band landed their best gig, he was deported. Alone on a train back to England, he felt the sting of defeat, but that setback only fueled his fire. Back home, the band reinvented themselves. A new look, a new name, the Beatles, and a string of hits that set the world ablaze. By 1963, Beatlemania was unstoppable. Fans screamed, crowds swarmed, and privacy vanished. For the shy guitarist, the spotlight was overwhelming. The press obsessed over every detail: his first taste of avocado, his love for simple egg sandwiches. Then came America. In 1964, with the nation still mourning a president's death, the Beatles landed. On the eve of their iconic TV debut, he battled a 104-degree fever. His sister fought past security to nurse him back to health. When the cameras rolled, 73 million viewers saw a star, not a sick man barely standing. The Beatles' rise was meteoric, but behind the scenes, tensions simmered. He felt overshadowed, his songs often sidelined by his bandmates' dominance. Yet when he got his chance, he delivered masterpieces, songs like Something and Here Comes the Sun, that proved his brilliance. If this story of grit and genius moves you, please share it to spread the inspiration. His personal life was just as intense. During a film shoot in 1964, he met a young model who stole his heart. Their first encounter was quiet, almost shy, but he boldly asked her to marry him. She laughed it off. She had a boyfriend, but fate brought them back together. 10 days later, she was single, and their whirlwind romance began. By 1966, they married in a small, heartfelt ceremony. Far from the chaos of fame, his spiritual awakening came next. Psychedelics opened his mind, reconnecting him to the Indian music of his childhood. The sitar became his obsession, and he wove its haunting notes into the Beatles' sound. Albums like Revolver showed the world he was more than the quiet one. He was a visionary. With his wife, he embraced yoga and meditation, living a life ahead of its time. But peace was fleeting. In 1969, police raided their home, finding drugs. That same night, they attended a high society party, dodging scandal as his wife stopped her sister from offering a joint to royalty. His life was a tightrope walk between enlightenment and excess. The Beatles' end wasn't sudden, it was a slow unraveling. By the late 1960s, he found solace with musicians who treated him as an equal, Unlike the creative battles back home, the White Album sessions were brutal arguments, walkouts, and resentment. He poured his heart into new songs, only to face criticism. One day, he walked out, fed up, but he returned, stronger, and helped deliver the band's final rooftop concert. When the Beatles split in 1970, he was free. He bought a sprawling mansion, hoping for a fresh start with his wife. Instead, it became a chaotic haven of parties and spiritual experiments. Heartbreak loomed, they couldn't have children, and he refused adoption, straining their bond. Amid the turmoil, he created All Things Must Pass, a triple album that stunned the world. Songs rejected by his bandmates became anthems, earning praise as the Beatles' hidden genius. But success couldn't save his marriage. Addiction took hold, and infidelity shattered trust. The final blow came when he fell for his bandmate's wife. At a dinner party, he declared his love for her, shocking everyone. The betrayal ended his marriage and strained lifelong friendships. By 1974, he was alone, grappling with the consequences of his choices. In 1978, he took a bold leap into filmmaking, launching a production company that backed iconic British films. But one project, a 1986 movie starring a pop superstar and her volatile husband, became his undoing. The set was a disaster. Paparazzi swarmed, egos clashed, and the director lost control. He tried to mediate, even composing the film's music, but nothing could save it. The star, a global icon, was impossible to work with, her demands and disruptions tanking the project. Critics savaged the film, and it flopped, losing millions. He later admitted to finding humor amid the chaos, but the experience left him bitter, vowing never to cross paths with her again. By 2001, his health was failing. Cancer had spread from his lungs to his brain. Doctors tried radiation, but the odds were grim. In a quiet Manhattan hotel room, he shared a final, laughter-filled reunion with his surviving bandmate. They reminisced, joked, and found peace in their shared history. Weeks later, on November 29, 2001, he passed away at 58, surrounded by family. Fans gathered worldwide, mourning the man whose music touched millions. His songs timeless, soulful, and raw remain his legacy. If this story of a legend's highs and lows resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and share to keep his spirit alive.